Hello and good afternoon. Thank you for coming today. My name is Olabanke Goriola, and I am a second-year PhD student in the Department of Performance Studies. In my home department, we engage performance from two perspectives. First, as a method of inquiry, and second, as an object of analysis. While I am a performance studies student, I am also a Nigerian, a dancer, a choreographer, and a dance anthropologist. I know you're wondering why am I giving you this piece of information and how is it applicable to my research, but please hold on to that because you would be needing it later. Today I'll be talking about my research titled Black Girls, Light Skin Disrupting the Color Spectrum. My research is grounded in a concept called colorism, which is propounded by Alice Walker, a social activist and author, in her book, In Search of Our Mother's Gardens. She defines colorism as the prejudicial or preferential treatment of same-race people based solely on their color. Look at this definition and make sure you hold on to the idea of same race and the idea of color. Colorism started during the transatlantic slave trade, where there was the forceful migration of enslaved Africans from Africa to the West. With the need to organize, categorize, and control enslaved Africans, there were different strategic or mechanisms that enslaved white masters had to use. First, they needed to see how to control the enslaved Africans to make sure they were able to abide to their bidding. They used age as well as their skin color. Separating different enslaved Africans based on their skin color, they made sure the light-skinned enslaved Africans who were in close proximity to whiteness were put in the houses of the slave masters, while dark-skinned enslaved Africans were put on the plantation. Because of the opportunity of living within the space of these slave masters, light-skinned enslaved Africans had access to limited education, good standard of living, and good clothing, as opposed to their counterparts who were working on the plantations. In the 21st century, I'm sure you would wonder, does colorism still exist? And the answer is, colorism exists, and in fact, it is thriving. In the entertainment industry, colorism exists, especially within the, and it's based on gender. It exists especially within the community of people of color. In 2016, there was a biopic titled Nina to talk about the life of American musician, jazz player and pianist, as well as civil activist. And in a bid to talk about how she contributed significantly to American life or to African American society, they needed someone to tell her story. And who did they pick? Zoe Saldana. I won't deny the fact that Zoe Saldana, who you can see on your right from the audience perspective, is a good actress. In fact, she is fantastic. But the issue everyone had with her is because when you're thinking about colorism, you need to think about the intersection of gender as well as class. Zoe Saldana faced a lot of backlash because everyone told her it was not her story to tell, that she didn't fit into the image of a black woman who needed to tell the story of Nina Simone. Zoe Saldana came out explaining and apologizing for telling Nina Simone's story. In fact, she said she understood that as a light-skinned woman, she had much more privilege than dark-skinned actresses, and she wished she had not played Nina Simone's character. While colorism exists in the entertainment industry, when you look at acting, it also exists in dance. And the reason why I'm bringing up dance today is because of the fact that my research has a lot to do with dance. In 2016, NC Mensah, the dark-skinned lady, created a production called Shades. And Shades was produced to talk about the issues of colorism within the black community and how dark-skinned female dancers are much more subjugated compared to their light-skinned dancers. She talked about the issue of color casting and when dancers are selected or casted based on the color of their skin because they are light-skinned, while dark-skinned female dancers, regardless of their talent or what they bring to the table, are left aside. So you might also wonder, okay, why am I talking about the global beauty industry? Please remember that colorism, because of the discourse of colorism and how it is close to whiteness, and how whiteness is considered the ideal standards of beauty, everyone thinks when you are white or you're light skinned, then you are the most beautiful in the room. And also, I need you to know that the West, or specifically Hollywood, contributes significantly to how how beauty is considered globally. For example, in India, you would realize that when you look at Bollywood, you see a lot of light-skinned Indian actresses. You see a lot of light-skinned Indian actors. Also in Nigeria, in several parts of Africa. And now I am taking you back to Nigeria because my research is rooted within my community as a Nigerian dark-skinned female dancer. In 2019, the World Health Organization explains that 77% of Nigerian women use skin bleaching products, which is the highest in the world. Why would you want to use skin bleaching products? It's because you have been given this idea that for you to be considered beautiful, you have to be light-skinned. And with the usage of skin bleaching products, we all know the adverse effects of having to bleach your skin or having to remove your melanin. We all know what happens when you continuously use this across the years. In my research, I am looking at this effect of skin bleaching products. Specifically, I am looking at the sacrifices that dark-skinned female dancers in Nigeria have to offer to be considered beautiful. What do they have to give up to be considered a part of the cultural belonging within the entertainment industry in Nigeria? While I have not conducted this research, I am hoping to travel to Nigeria for 1 year because I plan to situate myself within this community and record my work through an autoethnographic perspective that is positioning myself within this conversation. At the end of my research, I hope that the one takeaway would be to create awareness to the issue of colorism within Nigeria, especially within the dance community, and what these women have to give up, have to offer to be considered a part of the Nigerian community, or let's say, to be considered beautiful. And the next time you walk up into a room, or the next time you walk up to people, do not tell people or do not tell girls that they are beautiful in their black skin because you feel that light-skinned people are much more beautiful. Instead, compliment them genuinely and let them know that they are beautiful regardless of their shade of color. Thank you.